Hello, how you doing? So what my question is Peach McIntyre a child abuser? That's what my question is. Now, I'm not trying to rain on her parade. I could care less what kind of money she makes. It does has no effect on my economy at all. Okay? Uh so don't you stupid black girls think that I have some kind of jealousy streak, because that's just not who I am. But let me say this, there's 101 ways to abuse children. As you have seen in all the newscasts, there's 101 ways to abuse children. There's deprivation of food, deprivation of clothing, deprivation of heat, etc. All the things that would keep us alive. There's torture, there's beatings, there's verbal, physical, and sexual abuse. There's 101 ways to abuse children. Now, I came from an abusive household. I hesitate and I cringe to use the word family to even describe my family. I just cringe with the use of that word because they don't qualify to be called a family. Actually, the more accurate is that it's a collection of people who are kin. Okay, that's a better description. But they don't qualify to be called family. So I don't like to use that word to describe them, even the word family. But anyway, all of the above happened to me. I come from an abusive household. All of the above ways to abuse a child happened to me. Food deprivation, torture, beatings, verbal, physical, and sexual abuse. All of that happened to me. There are 101 ways to hide all of that from the authorities. 101 ways, people do it all the time. You don't have to live in a remote area to do it. A lot of people just do it anyway. They have 101 ways to hide it from the authorities. Why? Because they don't want to go to jail. They don't particularly like the child. They don't like the child, don't want the child. They just don't want to go to jail. Because if the authorities, if CPS gets a hold of them, they may go to jail. They don't want that. Most of the abuse is generational. In my family, it go back to my great grandmother, and probably even before that, a great great grandmother, maybe before that. So you're talking about an abuse that came through the Civil War and slavery and all of that. So up into this generation. But I stopped it with me. I didn't carry it any further. I didn't raise mine like that. So the abuse stopped with me. And if there's anything I'm proud of, is that I did not carry that garbage to my children, I'm glad of that. It stopped with me. I didn't raise my children nothing like the way I was raised. So that I'm proud of. On both sides of the family tree, there was abuse. There was abuse. I mean, probably going back to the Civil War. On both sides of the family tree. It's most likely a generational thing, I guess. A generational curse, whatever. That's why I can recognize abuse. I can recognize the tricks that parents use to avoid CPS. I can recognize some of the ways in which these so-called parents abuse their children because I've been through it myself. I can recognize abuse when I see it. Abusers are well-versed at hiding abuse from CPS. You know what? We used to call it the state. They call it Child Protective Services now, but we should call it the state. The state is coming to take the children away. For example, when Peach McIntyre talks to CPS, she changes the inflection of her voice to sound oh so nice. Yes, no. And guess what? CPS buys all of that. CPS buys it. Even though they see the same video I see, they see the same video that you see. CPS does. But when they come there, Peach changes the inflection of her voice to sound oh so nice, and they buy that. They give her a pass. But look, when CPS comes down, you don't hear Peach doing any cussing, no MF. children, no cussing, no nothing. She just says, yes, no, yeah, he ate yesterday. Blah, blah, blah. She changes the inflection of her voice to sound nice. Okay. No cussing, no belligerency, nothing. And CPS cannot see through that phoniness. They cannot see through it. She calls her children MFing children, my MFing kids. That's a form of abuse. And her children, when they get old enough, they're going to find out that she said it. But she says she calls them that often. That's a form of abuse. What is it? You know, she don't call them children. She calls them effing children, which means she hates their guts. My D children. My D children. My MFing children. What does that mean when she uses the terminology? She hates their guts. Food deprivation. I went on a 17-year fast. That's probably the longest you've ever heard. There was never any food hardly in the house. Nobody cooked. Hardly anybody cooked, okay? Anybody hardly cooked, okay? Peach, there's a video of Peach with a 2-year-old eating chicken and biscuits. Now, chicken and biscuits is not even good for a grown-up. She got a 2-year-old eating no baby food, no soup. A 2-year-old should be eating either baby food or soup. Very uncomplicated food. Should not be eating chicken and biscuits. The video is right out there. Okay, now that didn't make anybody go into convulsions. Chicken and biscuits. Now, I'm sure CPS saw the video. They gave her a pass. That the baby eats a peanut butter cup. And like I said, all I have to do is eat one chocolate covered peanut or one chocolate covered raisins or anything with chocolate in it. I get wild headaches. So I don't even want to think what the chemicals in chocolate does to a baby. I mean, I get wild headaches from just eating a little bit of chocolate. See, the last three, well, none of the children are in particularly good condition to me. None of the children are in particularly, and like I said, you know, I hesitate to talk about children in the first place. But none of the children seem to be in good condition to me. And look, you know, I guess the older ones just eat what they want to. Never mind. I don't get children are off limits, okay? But the last three, they're not fat. Then they should be fat. All three of them, I'm talking about the twins and the little one, look stressed out. They don't smile. That's concerning right there. They look stressed out. See, abusers do not want to give the baby up for adoption. Why? Because the whole thing is about jail. They don't want to go to jail. Even though they don't want the child. They don't want the child or the children. Why don't Peach just admit to herself she don't want? And she don't want most of those children. Just admit to herself. Okay? I do not believe, I definitely don't believe that she wants the last three children. The other ones are questionable. Okay? But look, I do hope she considers adoption because, and to give those children a fighting chance at life. I hope she does. I hope she considers adopting out at least the last three to give those children a fighting chance at life. But see, CPS keeps giving her a pass. You know, all she got to do is talk nice to CPS, increase the inflection up, change the inflection of her voice. CPS gives her a pass. Even though they see what we see, they see the same videos. You know, CPS at least needs to take those kids for a medical evaluation. They need to at least do that. Take those, particularly the last three, for a medical evaluation. Okay? That's my opinion. Bye.